As recently announced, the New York Knicks signed Shake Milton for the rest of the season. Now, there were a number of players the Knicks could have added to this roster. Let's face it, with the injuries the Knicks are dealing with, they have a need at nearly every position. So why did they add Shake Milton? They already have Alec Burks. They already have Miles McBride. Why is the real reason Shake Milton is on this roster? Today, we're going to break down that reason and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Why did the New York Knicks sign Shake Milton for the rest of the season? There are a number of players the Knicks could have added to this team. If you just look at the Knicks roster from top to bottom, they don't really need another guard, just in terms of players they have available. Alec Burks, Donte DiVincenzo, Miles McBride, Jalen Brunson. Now, I know Jalen Brunson went down last night with an injury, but hopefully he's okay and can come back soon. Either way, if you're looking at the Knicks roster, they really don't need another guard. They might need another forward, another wing, maybe another big man, but really not another guard. So really, why did the New York Knicks do this? Why did they add Shake Milton apart from any other free agent on the buyout market they could have added? Well, according to Ian Bagley, here's the reason why, apart from other couple of factors. According to Bagley, the Knicks added Shake Milton to the roster more so about adding depth amid the injuries and not necessarily about Milton immediately taking over somebody's spot in the rotation. Obviously, a rotation can always change based on health and performance. So as you just heard there from resident NBA insider for the New York Knicks and Ian Bagley, he just informed us the Knicks added Shake Milton because of the injuries that they're dealing with, the fact that they need more depth and they need more scoring off the bench. And Shake would be able to give you all of that and then some. But there's also another reason Shake was added. A real main reason, in my opinion, that a lot of people aren't talking about. And it's one reason why Shake Milton is on this roster right now. And that man's name is Alec Burks. Alec Burks, since being traded from the Detroit Pistons to the New York Knicks, has had one of the worst seasons of his career. Take a look at these horrible numbers since he's been traded to the Knicks. The numbers for Burks are certainly disappointing, especially when looking at his efficiency. So far, Burks is shooting 32% from the field and 35% from three-point range. The inefficiency from Burks is the area that is hurting the Knicks, especially when they haven't been using Miles McBride off the bench as of much. And you guys have to understand, once Burks is in that game and he's playing heavy minutes, Miles McBride is likely not playing heavy minutes. So when he does enter the game, he doesn't have that type of feeling when he enters the game, doesn't have that chemistry, and honestly, probably feels like somebody's out for his job and taking his minutes. So that motivation he has to play the game really isn't there a lot. However, last night when Jalen Brunson went down, Miles McBride stepped up in a big way, and he was one of the main reasons the Knicks took that game against Cleveland. However, Jalen Brunson going down presents a huge opportunity, not only for Shake, not only for Miles McBride, not only for Alec Burks, but anybody on that roster willing to take another step and try to show this team what they can do given all the injuries that they have. That next man up mentality is absolutely real, and we need more of it given all the injuries we are dealing with right now, including Jalen Brunson. But looking at those numbers from Alec Burks, it is not hard to understand why the New York Knicks signed Shake Milton. It's because their confidence and their faith in Alec Burks each and every day goes down and down and down because of his play, the fact that he has little to no impact when he's out there. His defense looks bad. His offense looks bad. And honestly, Tom Thibodeau cannot continue to justify playing him so many minutes over guys like Miles McBride, because McBride, when he's out there playing consistent high-level minutes, just gives you a better product to watch, and he's more impactful for the Knicks. When you switch that name with Burks, he is not as impactful. He doesn't give you the same type of scoring help, and his assist making, his playmaking just isn't good enough right now. I feel like he still thinks he's in Detroit, because the way he's playing looks like somebody who's playing for a team that has no hopes to go to the playoffs. That's how he looks. And he has to understand, he is not in Detroit anymore. He is part of the New York Knicks. a legit playoff contender, a legit contender in the Eastern Conference when fully healthy. Since that's the case, he has to understand the personnel and who's around him. He hasn't done that. He hasn't done that for a number of games right now. And the New York Knicks are probably pressed at the gun, thinking to themselves, you know what? Shake is only available right now. He may not be available in the future. We need help in this position immediately, and the people that we have here are not doing what they need to do. We still need to float until we get our players back. That is even more so the case with Jalen Brunson and him injuring his knee, having a knee contusion. We don't know how long he's going to be out. The news is hopeful that he could be out a few games, but I want to wait until the medical doctors give us that official update. But Miles McBride has an opportunity. Shake Milton has an opportunity. Burks, now because of this injury, has an opportunity. But Shake Milton was added to this roster because the players that we have playing the guard position did not step up consistently like we needed them to do and was not able to give Jalen Brunson a long enough rest. If any of those things were true, the Knicks would have not made this move. They might have made another move. They might have added more depth, more bigs, more wings, something to that effect. They probably would not have added another guard. However, when you're seeing the results you're seeing from the Knicks, their bench over these last few games, mind you, we've dropped more games that we've won in these last 9 or 10 games. The Knicks seeing all of that, wanting to save their season, wanting to make sure they're a playoff team and not a play-in team, made this small addition to their roster and made a statement, not only to the entire league, but to the roster as well, too, that if you don't step up and do what you need to do, we have other players on this roster that can come in and help immediately. Shake is one of those guys. So Alec Burks, the clock is on you. Tick-tock, my friend. Tick-tock. If you don't step up and do everything you need to do for this Knicks team, especially given all of the injuries we are dealing with right now, you are going to be out of the rotation. Shake is going to be in that rotation, and so is Miles McBride. And you're just going to ride the bench until maybe Tom Thibodeau feels comfortable enough with you to play you again, maybe in the playoffs at that point in time. But honestly, right now, you look like you're playing yourself out of the rotation, and other players are here. They're ready to take your position and start playing it right away. So you better step your game up, Burks, because the main reason Shake is here is because of you. And Shake is going to join a Knicks team that is a playoff contender whose roster has been depleted by injuries. But when the Knicks get back to full strength, Milton will have to fight with Burks and the improving Miles McBride for a rotation spot. Milton has averaged 6.8 points, 1.5 assists, while shooting 42.3% from the field and 33.3% from the three-point line for the Pistons. Milton will be the third player represented by CAA's Drew Morrison to join the Knicks after OG Anunoby and Isaiah Hartenstein. As we just heard from Sports Illustrated, Shake Milton being part of CAA, that explains a lot and also explains why he was signed, but also a little bit more than that, as we just heard from them. Shake is going to be competing with Alec Burks and Miles McBride for those minutes once the Knicks get fully healthy. So don't just think once the Knicks are fully healthy, he's going to ride the bench. That might not be the case. Burks might be the one who's riding the bench. In my opinion, the way we're going to see this play out is that the New York Knicks are going to try all of these guys out at heavy minutes. And whoever performs the best, they're going to get that permanent rotation spot. And the other player, whether that be McBride or whether that be Burks, one of them is going to ride the bench out for a very long time. They're probably going to be situational. No knock against Burks. No knock against anybody else. I'm just saying what it is. If Burks performed the way he was supposed to consistently, Shake Milton would not be on this roster. The fact that he is means it's TikTok time for everybody on that team who's playing the guard position, because your minutes might be up for grabs, especially if Shake or Miles McBride plays you out of it. And Alec Burks right now, Miles, and maybe Shake, who knows what he's going to do once he comes here. If those two play you out of your position, you are going to ride that bench for a long time. This is a warning, a notice to Alec Burks. Step up or step aside, because now we have other players who are able to do what you can do, but much, much better. But what about you guys? What do you think about the real reason the New York Knicks signed Shake Milton for the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.